welcome to Final Fights. I am Mark Hoffmeyer, and joining me are two people who just finished off a Gabe Walker burger and a Hal Tucker burger. It's Megan Hoffmeyer and Adam Hodgins.
Ooh, that sounds good.
It is good.
So when Adam and I retire during our Cliffhanger episode that we recorded for Movie Stones and Flicks a couple of years ago, geez Louise.
Yeah.
We decided that when we retire, Megan, and since you're married to me, you should probably know about this. But we're going to move to a small...
in this plan.
Oh, that's good to know.
Yeah, we're going to move to Colorado, and we're going to open up dueling burger joints that are actually very friendly burger joints.
Oh, I do remember this conversation.
I would say, like, borderline the same business. It's just the illusion of competing businesses.
Yeah, so we're acting like we're competitive. There's hijinks, but it's just to get ourselves more money.
And
quality burgers.
It was a running gag. And then what got me, Mark, like what sold me like we should actually do this is when you pitched that once a year, we erect a small stage in the middle of the road and reenact the movie Reign of Fire style when they did Star Wars.
Oh my gosh.
Mm-hmm. So he and I are going to both wear, well, okay, Adam's going to wear a jacket that's way too big for him and he's going to be very uncomfortable.
I
like
thought
Stallone.
It was a fabulous jacket, but...
And I'm going to go full Rooker sleeveless shirt.
Oh, good call.
Thank you. All right, we have the meeting of the minds here, the three of us, to talk about the final fight and Cliffhanger. And before we get going, I just want to share an epiphany I had. So I've been spending a lot of time with Deep Blue Sea the past year and this year. And I noticed in Deep Blue Sea, there's a couple of similarities.
You know that franchise well, haven't you?
Do you have a podcast about that?
Yeah, Deep Blue Sea, the podcast. And we just talked to the director of Deep Blue Sea 3, John Pogue. Wonderful conversation. Check it out. But I noticed a couple things. In Cliffhanger in the beginning, a teddy bear falls. In Deep Blue Sea, a teddy bear falls into the water. In this one, a helicopter crashes because the winch is attached to, like a shark grabs it and pulls it into something, or it's attached to a ladder. So you have two of the same gags in Cliffhanger and Deep Blue Sea.
Okay, Mark, I want to ask you a question because you are the guy who does the movie data. And I think, like, beyond just, like, being your friend, I consider it an asset. Like, I have a guy I know who does brakes, and I have a guy I know who does drywall. So if I ever need those things, I call him up. You're like the movie data guy where I'm like, I wonder how many movies use a fork as a weapon. Well, Mark can find out for me. So I want to know, do you think in cinema, not in reality, but in cinema, has a winch on a helicopter ever worked?
That's a great question because the winch works in this one, which...
Sort of.
I mean, it gets attached to... Well, what I like, though, is the heads-up move by Jessie in this scene. When Qualen drops her off, she purposely lowers the winch. Obviously, to get down, she's not going to do a belly flop. But she lowers it down, and Qualen
That's snowy.
doesn't even think about pulling that winch back up.
No.
So, that's a heads-up move by Jessie. She doesn't go, hey, Qualen, pull the winch back up. She does not say that. In this scene, she just runs away, and Gabe Walker capitalizes on that mistake. So it's not a winch gaffe. It's a Qualen gaffe. And a heads-up move by Gabe and Jessie.
Okay, I'll concede to that. But I'm saying a winch is never used flawlessly. Always ends up being a bit.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Like, you can't Deep Blue Sea, the winch fails. I mean, there's never a winch. San Andreas, the winch gets winchy.
I mean, you're asking a lot of a winch.
Yeah, winches, Jurassic Park, the winch doesn't really get successful because he's eaten.
Well,
Speed, it works, but it doesn't stay structural.
Yeah.
Actually, there's two winches that fail in Speed.
It seems that people are applying the wrong size winch to a much larger problem. I'm sure there's a winch out there that could handle some of these issues.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just so used to it. I don't wince when I see a wonky winch in a movie.
You don't wince when you see a winch?
Yeah, in a movie.
This sounds like a Dr. Seuss book that I will make for you for Christmas.
Please do. I will not winch these green eggs and ham.
Which winch wince?
We'll carry Gabe Walker to this. I just want to drop a couple things on you that blew my mind.
Yeah. Hit me with it.
I made Megan watch this. And I didn't make you.
It was
but
good.
That sounds like unhealthy as a marriage. Megan, you watch Cliffhanger now.
Well,
she was totally down to do it, as you know.
We saw Michael Rooker at DragonCon in Atlanta, and he had some funny stories. So I was excited when Mark said, do you want to watch this and talk to Adam?
Hey, Megan, what was it like shooting Cliffhanger?
Cold.
He's such a brat. That's what Michael Rooker said. It was cold.
This is a great Comic-Con moment.
But okay, so I didn't make her watch it, but I was pointing at the screen going, look at this amazing stuff, because they built a 60-foot tall, like, mountain face out of styrofoam and all of that. And then they built a 1/6 scale helicopter, and they dropped it and blew it up, and that's the explosion that we see in the movie. It's just a 6 scale helicopter. Then they had Stallone up in the mountains. Not, like, the helicopter wasn't close, but the helicopter was following Stallone. Things could have gone wrong in
so
this.
I want to say, though, Mark, in this era, and
No.
I call... It's cold. And I call this the Entertainment Tonight era of movies. Because if you wanted to know about a movie before it came out, if you cared at all about what we're talking about now,
Yes.
you had to watch Entertainment Tonight.
Yes.
And more often than not, I would record it to watch it again in case I missed something that was going on. I was so, like, bewildered by, like, I'm like, oh, John Tesh and Mary Hart, they're going to unveil all the secrets of movies.
Of Hard Rain.
Of Hard Rain, of whatever it would be. But I feel like in this era, there was some clout with action stars being able to say, like, I did my own stunt.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I remember that being like, oh, and like, even like in Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves, Kevin Costner did a lot of his own stunts. And I was like, well, okay. But I just feel like there's a bragging right to go along with that. So I think Stallone, being the action star of action stars, was like, if we're going to do a stunt, I'm going to do it. You know, like, I'm not going to not be able to have them say that about me.
And he was complaining about it. He said, I can't believe I did that. And with hindsight, he said, I was on a mountain being chased by a helicopter that was going towards the crew. If that helicopter wouldn't have pulled up, it would have wiped out Renny, the DP, the catering, the coffee guy. Everybody would have been wiped out.
They brought a coffee guy on top of that mountain?
Need it.
It's cold. It's cold,
Wow.
Megan.
I mean, I would have just brought a thermos.
Well, that's what the coffee guy had.
He just has a giant
A
thermos.
giant thermos on his back.
He was-
little
He wasn't
cups
as
for
much as a
everyone.
coffee guy. He was just a thermos wrangler.
You know Water Boy, but it's the coffee boy.
Smart.
Yeah.
You know the funny thing, you mentioned how you were pointing at the screen and saying, look at this. I looked up at the screen and you had the making of it, and all of my movie making illusions just came crashing down because it's this rock face and this tiny miniature, and I was like, no, this movie looks so real and so seamless that I kept thinking in certain scenes, it's hard to tell what's real and what's miniature. Well, you blew that up.
I mean, this is a
Right.
seamless action scene. When the helicopter's falling, it's a miniature helicopter. It's a miniature animatronic Stallone with kicking legs that they made.
Crazy.
That's nuts.
It's beautiful.
You know
Seamless.
what's crazy, though, is that Stallone animatronic figure exists somewhere.
Whoa, you need to get that for your show.
Yeah.
I need to get that for Go Figure. That needs to happen. But I'm saying, like, it's in a warehouse somewhere. It needs to be, like, on display somewhere. Like, let's celebrate the animatronics.
Do you know Indiana Jones and the Crystal Skull?
Yes.
I'm aware of the film.
Good. We should do that. But instead of looking for the MacGuffin that they were looking for in that film, you and I are tearing up a gigantic factory looking for the Stallone animatronic miniature puppet.
Okay, Mark, Megan, you're with us, so you're in on it. And so Mark and I get ourselves into hijinks virtually. So you're here with us.
I call them adventures.
Right. So you can go on two paths, Megan. You can try and talk sense into us, or you can support us and encourage us. But here's what I'm saying, Mark. We know for a fact that an animatronic Stallone with kicking legs exists. True?
True.
True. We also know for a fact that, like, arena robot battles exist.
True.
We also know for a fact that there's an animatronic Schwarzenegger from the Terminator 2 movie where he's on top of that big rig.
Ooh.
True.
If we can find all of the action star animatronic miniatures and reprogram them to fight each other inside a robot fight club, that could be a television.
That'd be a convention.
This is like Celebrity Deathmatch. Do you guys remember that show?
Yeah. But with animatronic puppets.
Not clay, it's animatronics.
We should put a little voodoo curse on them and bring them back, bring them to life, and then let them fight.
Golems.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Child's play.
I had a legit idea. Now we're talking voodoo, but I'm in. I'm in.
No,
Like,
I
let's
support
do it.
your legit idea.
I'm in. Let's do it. We're gonna find this factory. Megan's gonna put on a Russian accent. I'll be
Yeah.
the Ray Rinstone. You can be the Indy. And
I think Megan will come with us to add some credibility to us, because I feel like if we're at the door, we're like trying to sneak in. Like, what are you guys doing here? We'd be like,
yeah.
And Megan could be like, well, we're here with such an I feel like you could give us some legitimacy.
I can make something up and cover you.
She's like, these two dweebs are with this lady, and she seems legit. So this isn't weird.
No.
Can we talk about something in this final fight?
Yeah.
We should talk about the final fight.
Okay. Let's do it. Megan, do you want to give us a lead up into the final fight in 70 words or less? Tell us what the final fight's all about.
Helicopters, mountains, climbing.
You saved 67 words.
No, okay, but legitimately, I think it's great when they've got Jesse, Lithgow, or Qualen has Jesse, and he's bringing her for a rendezvous with Stallone's character, Gabe Walker, drops her off. I was impressed that he goes through with the hostage drop-off. Yeah. And so this is my whole lead-in. I wrote all these notes about it because I just kept thinking he's being a very honorable bad guy here. He doesn't hurt her. He drops her off nicely. And the first thing that Stallone does is lure him in and blow up the money into confetti. It's kind of shitty.
Yeah.
So here's the thing. In all the Final Fight episodes that Mark and I have done, I've always asked one question because I like to know the rules going in. So my question has always been, when does the final fight start? Like, because usually it's a build-up conflict, so I would say this final fight starts when the money explodes.
Yeah, when the money hits the fan.
When the money hits the fan, that's when it starts. So my question then is, if you're a Qualen and your money explodes, it's gone. The whole reason you've done the movie is over. Fighting Gabe is only going to end badly. You're not going to win the situation, complete your goal. Mm-hmm. So it's almost like you'd be better off just to fly away.
And you know what's interesting? They really wanted to pursue that. So Stallone wanted to have a scene where Lithgow just cannot process that he can't control this man. Lithgow during this film has learned that he can't control nature. He can't even control Richard Travers in this movie.
He's the worst.
Yeah. His expression is perfect. He looks full on crazy face. When the money explodes, it's just disbelief and crazy. He just snaps.
He goes, "Dang you, Walker!" Like he is hurt. And Adam and
I would be too.
He actually let Jesse go peacefully.
Yeah, exactly. And he just delivered on his side, and then the money gets blown up.
And what's interesting too is Qualen. I know he killed Crystal, his girlfriend. But he wasn't the one who killed their boss. He wasn't the one who killed, what's his name? Who does the crazy face in the beginning when he's pulling up the rope?
Oh, yeah.
Frank. He doesn't kill Frank.
No.
He just wants his money.
Yeah.
And I just feel Rex is a maniac.
And these two guys are just getting in the way the whole time.
Exactly.
He gives up his hostage.
You know what I love about this is Qualen has a pretty good plan, but he just can't control anything as things go further. And then
And I would say the one thing he could control was his girlfriend.
And he killed her.
How did that end up, right? Yeah. Like I wouldn't say control, but the only influence he had on someone, he killed her just to prove a point.
I know we're talking about the final fight, but I love how Rex Lynn playing Richard Travers has zero time for Qualen. I have the tracker. I have 50,000 combos. Lay off of me. I have never seen that in a movie before, where a guy just does not care about what the villain does.
So, again, I'm from Canada, and so you guys have like state troopers and conservation troopers. Mm-hmm. And so we have M&R officers, the Ministry of Natural Resource Officer. And so we had a friend in Nipigon who was an M&R officer. And so when somebody was caught poaching or hunting out of season or doing something illegal, they would bring the party in, because you'd always hunt with a party. And so say Mark and I were hunting and we got caught hunting out of season or hunting without a tag or whatever it would be. They would put Mark in one room and me in the other room. And they would say, whoever tells us the truth first gets to keep their